to Jade Country Gaming Presents The Observatory. My name is Adam, here with another session of the New Divines Dungeons & Dragons campaign. We have Eric as Stan, Bob is the old man, David is Terry, Ryan is Billy, and Rolfur is Austin. Wait, nope. Reverse that. There we go.
Rolfur is Austin, that's right.
Last time, Alice, Stan, Billy, and the old man hunted a Jabberwock, which was, of course, dreadfully difficult for them. After mopping the floor with that, talking about going to Kingdom of the Scale next, a Rolfur finally found and buried his body.
Yep.
And he allowed the souls to decide where to go next one last time before removing the decision gazebo. Terry discovered what actions he had taken while under the influence, and began fixing things and deciding the next step to prepare for war. Now moving on to day 177. Let's begin with Stan. You're in Dalport, moving about town. Do you do anything specific overnight, or you're just walking about the streets?
Yeah, I'll just walk about the streets, keep an eye on the main streets there.
Okay.
Anything happen throughout the night, or?
Make a luck check.
No, hold on. $11.
11. No. It's a boring night for you.
I eat donuts then.
Donuts it is. There's some great bakeries in Dalport.
Remember, if you have bad luck, specifically try not to get...
Rolfur, you are finishing modifications in your realm. Billy, you were in your workshop. Are you just sleeping for the night, or did you do anything over the night?
Let me check here. I need to check what, because this is day 175.
Day 176 is what we're at the end of, that I'm finishing up.
Oh, okay.
Which was Jabberwock hunting day.
Okay. Yeah. Then, yeah, I'm just working on recipes for today.
Okay, just standard stuff.
Because I'm pretty sure I've used my permanency already.
Yeah. Then let's go to, as we actually begin day 177, go to Koshkot, where Terry is sleeping and finally having recovered from just some
fungal infection.
Yeah, fungal infection, drugs related to pain relief,
just the fungal infection.
memory loss. The getting over the depression of having I believe burned to death the offspring of his arm and fungus.
So, want to have give some time, just have breakfast with my wife, and see how she's doing, get her thoughts, opinions, make sure that she's okay despite everything that's happened. Just touch base.
She's not certainly the happiest with all that is going down. And at this point, it is very clear, like, things are moving towards war. Her desire is more for peace.
Yep, me too. But that's...
Yeah.
I don't think that I have been getting the advice that I need from our advisors. Which is to say, I don't think I've gotten any advice from our advisors. Do you get advice from our advisors? Do we have advisors?
You don't have advisors per se, because there's no real structure set up for you other than you're above the families. So the families probably have their own each separate system where they have advisors and such to the heads of the family. And the heads of family can answer you, but they're not allowed really to come into your house without it at all. They kind of have to be invited to meet with you in the garden. Yeah. And even to that, like, you're still relatively new of a presence that, you know, comes in over top of them, that as far as, like, how they put things forth to you, like, there's no established method for that.
So, wife, we need to fix that. What do you think?
She agrees, but isn't sure of, like, what... She doesn't know any better how to do so.
Okay. Okay. Well,
you know, she brings forward, like, as far as, you know, she's pretty sure at this point that they all know, like, kind of be preparing for war of some kind. She is understanding at least that they have been informed to do that. So that's the kind of thing, like, clearly, like, they've done, at least on smaller scale, like, combats and handled border disputes in time. Like, they know an amount of doing that. Her thought is now leaning more towards the how do we move forward with what her and you do as far as quelling the conflict.
well, I mean, yes, we absolutely need to be concerned about quelling the conflicts. We need to figure out what conflicts we need quelling, for one. I have not been able to... I don't know how to do diplomacy very well.
She nods a little too
aggressively.
Yeah.
So, we need to, I guess, get advisors from the houses. So let's go ahead and... does she have... She doesn't have clerics, does she?
Let's see, that is... Sora, I do not believe so, no.
Okay. Well, I do. So I was going to say let's try to get some clerical people from the families to help be, like, established advisors. But she doesn't have clerics, then that's not even ground.
She thinks, like, almost like she can meet with each, like, she can go about and she can go meet with each of them and try to figure out what's going on their side, building the army, information that's been gathered, any of that kind of thing. And try to, because, and so she's sitting there, like, so what are the conflicts that we know? What are the conflicts you know?
Well, we need to figure out what's going on throughout the old country, referring to the crescent.
The emerald carving?
Yep, the emerald carving. And how they've taken the word of the gods coming back. Because I think uniting the countries would be a great way to, like, be a show of force and power and unity. But I know that there's an army of mercenaries that's coming up from the prior god of war that was subsumed by the god of peace for healing. And then we also have... what's the country that Nim's from again?
Would be Beezlend? Yeah, Beezlend.
And I know that we have some real problems that I've caused accidentally, but it doesn't matter that I've caused at Beezlend. So they're probably... I know that they're the ones that were funding the mercenaries, so they're probably sending their own troops too. We need to figure out exactly what's going on with that. I don't know how one goes about sending diplomats, but if you could figure that out, that'd be great.
Yeah. So her thoughts are that, do we know if, as this is a war between nations, is Ember involved? The Ember Kingdom is
That's
well
fine.
known for its involvement in wars over her lifetime, at least. And they're a neighbor to Beezlend, so she has questions with that.
I mean, I assume they are, but like, I don't think that it's. I don't know. I'll find out.
Thornvale, to the west, is tyrannically ruled. She doesn't know of any alliances that they have with any of those forces, but as we share a border, they could definitely try and be taking advantage.
Do you want to take the take that one, or do you want me to take that one?
She's just going over the things. Broadmire to the south, nothing has been observed to her knowledge from there, and we do have while there was a history, we have a strong, the Bow fortification, is a stronghold. It is a massive wall that would help with defending from that side if they did do anything. So she would be hesitant to reduce the standing guard there, but doesn't feel like that is necessarily an area where she feels that there is necessary conflict, but might be worth just sending someone to check on things. Her coming, like, the biggest one though is emerald carving to the north, as far as the danger of going in, because they have not had like amicable interaction since then. It is just basically two neighboring countries that are just cut off, and basically cut off at a point where they hated each other, and one has decided that one doesn't exist, and we don't really know what they've decided about us. They just haven't interacted since. So
right, well,
the other ones seem like a lot easier to send in diplomacy, even like into Beezlend. Like, if we want to try and convince Beezlend, hey, let's deal with the individual that caused the offense rather than the country that they're from, like, probably sending in some lower level diplomatic action is probably something that's at least amicable there. So her thought is probably to try and get the families to send diplomats to.
So let's put Beezlend on your plate, since I'm.
Well, basically, yeah, she's basically putting through, like, she'll take through Thornvale, Beezlend, Broadmire, and Emerald Carving, because none of those, some of them we know are kind of, like, one of them's we know is involved, but is the furthest. One of them we don't think is involved, but is involved in a lot of wars. And two are just neighbors that we don't think are involved, but they're real close.
All right,
so,
well, I will check.
And she wants you to go to the north.
Okay, so
that's
you
the
want me
most
to go to the
explosive possible one as far as that. So
she wants me to take care of Emerald
yeah,
Carving.
she's like, that should be. I mean, ultimately, if we have to do things differently there, but
yep. And you said that
basically she feels safe of just a normal person can walk into the other ones and they won't just be killed on sight.
And so I will check on Emerald Carving. I'll put some feelers out about Ember.
Okay.
As well.
And you know people there.
We actually have a pantheon church. Okay. That's where the pantheon church is.
So yeah, you could take that, and then she'll just do the other three.
Okay. Let's hope it doesn't come down to wiping out troops left and right. Because that would be bad. If there's anything I could do to support you in these actions or in your life, just say so. You're doing a ton already for me, so thanks. Hugs and kisses. Breakfast.
Yeah.
So after that, I'm going to reach out to the group via the mind links.
And we'll get to that later, because they haven't started their morning yet.
Gotcha.
Rolfur, working kind of through the night, you finish the modifications needed to your realm. It is now distinctly your realm.
Neat.
What do you do?
Well, that was kind of a process.
Mm-hmm.
But I need power if I'm to dictate anything in this world, so it's important that everyone else has got their place. We're no longer dealing with massive numbers of people in the river, so the goal is now to expand my power so I can cement that truth. So I'm starting to make my own little minions, who I will eventually be saturating the River of the Dead with.
So is this something you're doing in your realm? You're just staying there and continuing to work?
Well, no, this is passive. I mean, I can only do it once a day anyway.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, I'd be sending them to my realm every once a day, and then the goal would be to shove them all into the river once I find out a way to make a path from the river to my realm, so I can create a whole process there. Literally, just eventually being the idea that the river's just so saturated that there is nobody in it. But that's long term. In the short term, I guess I'm done. So I make contact with the team and see what they're up to.
Okay. And I guess at this point, you've been in your realm long enough, you just come out the main exit at your Mountain Maw temple?
Yeah, there wouldn't be another one.
Okay. So, and you just basically try to come out and try and make contact. So you're trying to contact the group as well. We'll go.
Yeah, it's like I've got spells to get there.
Yep. We have a old man hanging out in your domain for the evening. You know, you and Jane doing whatever it is you do there.
Checkers. Just a lot of checkers.
Checkmate.
That's it's a whole different game. So
Apologies, cat emergency.
Queenie.
So I guess as we're done playing checkers,
Yeah.
I'll go out into Nexon.
Okay.
And check up on the things I set in motion last time.
Let's see, okay.
And check in with the kingdom itself. Because I'm not actually sure what they're doing.
Okay.
Like, I know what I sent my guys to do. I didn't know what they're doing vis-a-vis the war.
Yeah. Make an advantaged investigation check.
I'd love to. Those are my favorite kind.
Oh yeah, you roll dice. I forgot. It's been a while since our last session. What numbers do you get?
Well, I rolled a 15 plus investigation. Yeah?
Yeah.
So 29.
Oh, yeah, so low. Such low numbers there. Yeah, so on your end, were you just gathering knowledge and basically you're just trying to encourage the conflict spreading from Beezlend over? That was your direct interaction. Am I remembering correctly? It's been several months.
I was gonna send people to slow down the advances so that
you were doing the opposite.
the Jade Country would have time to do that, but it was generally like I hadn't actually given them the order to do so yet because I hadn't been asked for help.
Okay.
And that was in general what I was doing for the enemies that were coming from. I think I got the mercenary army and Beezlend, but I didn't find out about the other ones until just now or recently.
Yeah,
so I didn't have time for that.
Yeah, and you still know very little of emerald carving. That is not an area that you really have a whole lot of influence.
Yeah,
I just something to do with undead, machine people. It's a bit of a mess there, but like it's its own kind of set off kind of nation, and it's far enough away that you haven't like really infiltrated very heavily.
I didn't know anything about that.
It's like it's not directly upon the Nexon Gulf, and therefore isn't necessarily directly in your circle of where the nation's taken care of. So you have minimal knowledge there. But yeah, basically enough to know there is historical issues that they have with the Jade Country. So they might basically you're not sure if they're and you still don't know if they're getting involved at all. But you know that if there's a war and Jade Country starts looking weak, they are a country that is likely to then move in and just try and infiltrate as a neighboring area.
Okay. But I don't know where Ember is exactly, other than I told them, like, they had... I didn't tell them to. They were mobilizing already.
Yeah.
Like, they were working on getting their army ready and mobilized. First time I went there, because war was there, they were already working on mobilizing the army.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing or where they're at or anything of that nature. So I feel like I should check in with my sweet, innocent boy.
Yeah. Other things to note is, like, just as far as, like, the slowdown, like they're at the point where they're like, it's 2 or 3 weeks probably until, like, where they feel like really any, swords are gonna clash. How much can be slowed down might be limited.
I might be able to buy an extra week, maybe.
It's like
kind of
not going to be a huge amount of time. They feel more confident. They might be able to more slow down the naval forces they're going through, and that's just through some diplomatic action at, like, the canal as they're going through. But for that, even, like, we'd have to act pretty quick, or we're gonna lose the chance to slow them down because they're just gonna be on open sea unless we want to get a force and actively engage them before they get there.
Yeah, that ain't exactly my jam.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd start slowing down naval without being asked. I'd start, and the other one's on a timer too, for, like, how much I can slow them.
They can try with certain things, and it's more, in trying, it might leave them better suited for the battle in like their ability to maybe influence, trying to say, hey, let's prepare more before we march out. And basically buy them through extra time through them using extra preparation. They have some influence that way.
Okay, yeah. Time is more important than how well they show up for the battle.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just go ahead and send off a go on both of those, and then I figure out what Ember is actually doing. Because if they're a couple weeks away, it's time to move up the troops to the border and get it situated for if a retreat's required. You're
now thinking probably 3 to 4 weeks with just choosing to send it out now. For as far as what Ember, you do not necessarily. So talking to your son and some other people there, they're not necessarily involved in this war per se. They are mobilizing in general, and it's not necessarily... Mobilizing is probably not the best word for it. They're not necessalily getting on ships to go out. They're actively beefing up the army, training. Along like the southern end of the mountains, they're doing a lot more, like, they are more directly funding some of the mining efforts to pull out the minerals needed to build the tools that they need for war. And there's also they're funding some stuff being funded as far as developmental stuff that they're working on, how to maybe advance some of the technologies that they use for the war as they go through. That there's that kind of thing. It's like some of this that they're doing is like it's not going to affect this war at all. Some of it it's ready, especially if
they're building the infrastructure to
make an insight check.
Okay, well, I rolled a 3, so let's see here. Insight is... Okay, so I get a 22.
Your son there is definitely thinking...
Rogues are funny!
Your son is definitely thinking along the lines of, there may be some involvement, but if anything, it seems to be more along the mindset of they might get involved if the other side start, like, while you're kind of worried about Emerald Carving getting involved, if Jade Country starts losing and they just sort of push in, if anything, your son's thoughts are leaning more towards the idea of if Beezlend starts losing, if we don't think that they're going to have much of an army to return and try and do things, we might push north. Because there's a different sense of from his upbringing that it is desirable to expand the kingdom. Like that is a thing. Like, so if that kingdom starts looking weak, they need a proper strong leader. They need, someone of force to take over and to have actual rule. And so with this, they're like, if they win and they're coming back, that is fine. They're not necessarily in the mindset of, oh, we have to influence the war one way or another. But definitely a preparation there and a building up for, if not there, then we're going to have more tools where we take over elsewhere later.
All right, well, I don't instruct him, but the information I give him is basically along the lines of, they are uncultured swine. There wasn't a single theater in their entire city. But I feel like it would be appropriate to move the troops in that general direction, even if it's just a field exercise. They get used to marching. It's a good training experience. Just have them on the border, ready, for reasons. And if you make it visible, that might help me. Because I can threaten them with you.
Make a persuasion check.
I got a 7, and it is a charisma check, so I'm pretty sure I get advantage on it, because it's a charisma check. It's been like 10 years. Let me check before I roll crazy. Yep, advantage on charisma checks. Charisma mod a day. Yeah. So I'm gonna take my advantage. Okay. Okay. So 33, I think? Nope. I forgot minimum is 15.
Yep.
So 35 is the lowest I can get. I have a plus 20.
Yeah, so he kind of gives, I don't necessarily need to do like that kind of thing, but I mean, we do have a wide, area of land that's, just sort of undeveloped over there that, if we're needing to construct, military training camps and areas to test some of our newer equipment. We've hired some of our towered mages to develop devices that might be useful, and probably testing them, away from other cities is useful. So maybe building some good training camps over on that end would be a good place to station those.
Hey, it's your empire. I am a humble tavern owner now. For the record, I look around lean real close. I like what you're doing with the place. However, you know how I feel about the theater.
Well, that's not going anywhere. That's what keeps the populace
Completely distracted.
very, very happy.
Fucking idiots.
Well, don't speak so harshly as you go out amongst them.
Oh. Who would listen to some crazy old man anyways? I tap him on the cheek and go, "You're a good boy." And I
you ain't seen nothing
kind of
yet.
crotchety ass my way out of there, really hamming it up. Going full Gandalf and Rohan.
I just need a walking stick.
You wouldn't part an old man from his walking stick.
Proceeds to carry it sideways. Billy and Stan over in Dawnport.
Hooray.
Anything exciting this morning, or just working to gather things as far as planning to go to Kingdom of the Scale at some point?
Well, let's say I'll go ahead and wait and check what goes on in the Mind Link. So I'll go ahead and have a leisurely morning, talking with people until people get ready for the telepathic communication for the day.
And I know Rolfur and Terry have already been mentioning, so yeah, let's get that at a point where your days have begun enough that you're all on the material plane. The cat walks in front of the camera, and it's time for the Mind Link discussion to begin.
I'm just in time for the mine link.
Hey,
no.
how's good morning. How's the fellow gods doing today?
Isn't
Oh,
good.
Doing fine. Just checking in before I get to work for the day.
I just drank coffee that was way too hot and enjoyed a nice pastry while complaining about young people. Perfect day.
Really leading into old man, are you?
I'm just an old man. Don't worry about me.
Well, I have a few points of order and requests. Does anybody?
Maybe you guys want this. I did just look down and notice something. I don't think I gave you last night's followers.
That's true.
Cool.
Do you want more followers?
Sure.
Yes, please.
I love numbers increasing.
Yeah.
Numbers go up.
Let's have the old man. You can have 1,200 followers.
Not many, but okay.
That's that's a bunch.
Billy and Stan, you can each have 1,300 followers. And Terry and Rolfur, you can each have 1,600 followers. And now we can get back to what you were doing. I was like, I should.
Is mine
Yay.
What?
Yeah,
Well,
he's got two. Yeah, he's got two divinities. Did you include his
Yeah.
other worshippers?
The
'Cause he's
followers
war
all count
and
as one
life.
number, though.
Okay.
Cool.
Alright,
So, points. Did anybody want to bring anything up before I start talking about more serious issues?
no, go ahead.
The coffee here is a little bit too acidic. I think we need to get. What was that brand you had?
I got some delightful donuts over here if you'd like to try them. It'd make the donuts, that coffee much better.
You know I can't teleport. Don't be a dick.
Do you need a
I'll get over to
ride?
you.
No. If I don't get to complain about something at least once a day, I get grouchy.
Well, I'm still in the tavern here.
Oh. I look over.
Well,
She's like literally sitting across from me.
if no one else has anything that they want to start with, I haven't been prepared for this whole leadership position very well of Jade Country, and could really use any help that any of you all could provide, advice, technical, pretty much anything that's like diplomatic or really whatever. Because I had an unfortunate evening, and this war thing is definitely happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that I've successfully attempted diplomacy. So Sora's gonna try to start taking over that. And I was kind of hoping we could postpone the going to the region of scales in lieu of doing something much more selfish for me. Specifically, investigating the emerald carving.
What's that?
It's sort of a country.
It is some country.
This is from
Okay.
Terry's perspective. It's sort of a country. They broke off from they kind of rebelled and broke off from the Jade Kingdom. It was what, decades?
It was near the end of like that big war. So
Yeah,
so that's
the-
several generations
yeah, so-
at least. Yeah.
Yeah, so like the better part of 100 years ago. So I bet by now that their turmoil has really kind of calmed down, but
Maybe a little longer. 2 generations after the Jade Emperor passed control to the ruling
Oh.
families.
so it's been like
Yeah.
it's closer to 300 years. But I think that we should check to see how they've established themselves, and I would like to try this whole diplomacy thing to see if they would want to reunite the countries.
What does your spy network say?
I don't know. Sora is trying to find out if we have one.
Okay. Do you have... How close are you to being ready for war? Have you contacted your generals?
Yes, but I don't remember it.
That is all.
Okay.
Basically, the families have been informed to be preparing, and
Right, but,
any
like-
individual troop management generals, all that would fall under them. So you have just delegated that to further
Right.
down.
But also, Terry thinks that he has talked to people particularly during his issue.
Ah, yes.
So,
Would my updates let me know who is and is not preparing in his kingdom, or do I just know who's taking out loans?
You would know that they are in general preparing, but that they have less information of the specifics and like some of them are not necessarily sure. Are we preparing for war to go out or to be attacked? But that they are at least aware at this point of have forces ready, have them armed and able to go, and with more fresh training on it. That some people have been being sent through the villages and towns to basically tell like militia level of, hey, we are pulling. Be prepared if you want a chance to come back to your family after we've taken you. So some of it is direct training of proper soldiers, and some of it is just warning the farms people, hey, we're going to be coming back, and we've counted you, and this is how many we're taking. And, so you might want to have the ones, figure out who you're going to send and have them ready to have a chance of living through it.
Okay, cool. So, what is your, do you have your logistics all sorted out, where you're going to get food from? Do you have the supplies set aside for sieges? Have you reached out to anyone for allies?
And
That's
about
all-
to have a couple
all-
questions here.
Oh, no, my character is really rubbing his face in the fact that he has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
You have full confidence that there is access to sufficient food. That is something that your country is very good at. As far as like the logistics of moving that food to where it actually needs to be, if the battle is not like directly on your area where, well, here it is, that is something that you're like not sure, and that's hopefully the families are dealing with.
yeah. So the Jade Country is mostly. Oh, sorry.
Oh, any prayers that I've gotten as the God of War, I'm trying to relay that. Like any war movements I've gotten towards that stuff, since if they're praying to me, I'm gonna kind of ask them where they're at.
Yeah, make
intend to do.
make advantaged insight check for me.
Okay, that's my 19.
Okay. So from that, from your prayers, and you're just openly divulging what information you know as far as what the other nations and warring groups are doing.
So here's what I've heard.
Okay. You know that they have that Beezlend has a naval force that they are preparing, has already, armed, ready, on ships, and is heading down to go through the canal to basically head around to the other side of the Gulf. Like, they are sending a navy.
I relay this in not such a scary manner.
Let me see.
So let me know what I know first, and then I relay as such. But yeah.
Wait, so they were
Beezlend's armed enough.
Oh, so they're going through probably through the Gel River.
Yeah.
No, the Gel River ends at the mountain. They are sending a navy through the Minx Canal.
The Minx Canal?
They're going south of the Ember Kingdom to the Minx Canal.
Oh, I don't have that map open.
Yeah, which is the northern
Okay.
part of the divide.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, You know that. You know that the forces from the Men of Iron, I think it is, have not yet left, but that they are preparing and, in fact, through one of your divine realms, are building up the tools of war, and that they are a well-stocked force. And you know that they already have alliances with Thornvale, who is not, from what you can tell, is not necessarily looking to get directly involved at the start, but has, with agreements of territorial desires, agreed that they will just allow them to march through their territory. So they're basically have an agreed upon path cleared through Thornvale. The other country between there is Ugraz, and they you don't know much, but in general, from this sense of and prayers, like, there is no concern of marching through that country. It's practically a bunch of sheep.
And how does all this make you feel, Sam?
Powerful. You are deriving power from it. Whether you say that is fine, whatever, but that is a source from which you gain
looks like
power.
you're in trouble. So where's your most ragtag team, and we can make sure that they can be your main army as defense.
Well, Stan,
You can make sure that you'd be fine.
the Men of Iron worship you very strong. They're strong, they're capable, and it seems like they are kind of your religious warriors.
You also have a lot of religious warriors in the Ember Kingdom, because there's also a whole army that was trained under him there. So from their prayers, you also know that there is a force training, but they don't seem to have any direction that they're pointed yet.
But like, the question is that if I end up having to deal with the Men of Iron, that might hurt your power.
How?
And I don't like that.
How?
Dead people are still.
If I
Dead
murder
people are
them
still
all,
followers.
Dead people are still followers.
Yeah.
the Men of Iron don't die though.
Then you haven't killed them, and they're still followers.
It sounds like you're in a loop there, my friend.
Yeah.
So you are perfect. So
But
let,
I'll tell them to stop, but they have free will.
Let me put it this way: if they are fighting us, I will get involved directly, and I want to make sure you have every opportunity to try to get them to do what you want them to do first.
I'll tell them not to attack you when they pray to me. They are people of free will.
So you're okay if they all get into conflict with my country then? I just want to. There's
Conflict's unavoidable.
no judgment
I
here.
don't want people to
There's no
die in this
judgment here.
manner. If you can talk it out,
This
that'd
is-
be swell. You might want to talk it out with all these countries that are trying to attack you first. Send a diplomat or something.
Oh, we're working on that, but I'm wanting to make sure that
angry eyebrows are heading towards you.
right. But like, I'm not. This conversation right now isn't. That's not the topic. The topic is the Man of Iron.
He's asking how you're going to react when the actual chips fall.
War Turtle leads that
Like
army. You can kill them. Take them down.
Yeah, as far as like his side with war, convincing them that they don't like war is a thing that reduces their power. Gloriously dying in a battle does not lower his power from them.
It's not like I don't think that my people are going to be strong enough to fight the Men of Iron.
Let me bless your people. That'll be fine.
You want to? Okay. Let me get you in. I'm going to start getting you in touch with our generals to start organizing our armies. Then, does that sound good to you?
They'll be fine. Problem solved.
That sounds the best for him.
Well,
the God of War wants to be on both sides of that fight.
Like, are you going to be supplying them? Are you going to be supplying
trying to my motivational speech. I got arms and equipment just for you, my friend.
Right.
I open up a door. Look what we're in production of.
quick question: the Men of Iron—they're a mercenary group, right?
Mhm.
Could you just like offer them more?
Probably.
Wait, that's the kind of mercenary group those are?
They were hired by
We're
Beezlend.
spending money.
I mean, there may be some sort of like pride issue as far as like turning against them, but you don't know enough about that. But yes, they're a mercenary army. They're an army that was hired.
Hey Stan, you can talk to your worshippers directly, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got the same thing going for you that the old man's got, right?
I can't go teleport to them, but in a sense.
Oh no, okay, gotcha.
I mean, Terry, do you think that you could offer them more weaponry than Nim can?
I don't think I could offer them more weaponry than the God of War can.
Not Stan, because Stan's not against.
Stan's on both sides.
Yeah.
Right.
God of War is offering you supplies in general.
As far as Stan's side, if you tried to pay them to not war, might be more difficult.
But if
you try and pay them to war a different direction,
attack.
Yes, that's the thing. That's if that's the kind of mercenaries they are, I would love to pay them to go elsewhere.
You can do that. You can create a nice.
Another way to look at this. So we brought up that potentially that there might be a pride issue of them turning on Beezlend and attacking them as part of that. So currently they're going to go and attack the Jade
Empire.
the Jade Kingdom,
Jade
right?
Country.
Jade Country.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe there's this other place that's part of the Jade Empire that's called the Emerald Carving that they don't have to turn on Beezlend and that you can pay them to just march on through.
You probably know enough. Nobody considers this the same country. They haven't been the same country for so long. You know more about them than he does. In the Jade Country, they are taught, don't go to North. That doesn't exist. Everywhere else knows a little bit more about the Emerald Carving than the Jade Country does.
Okay.
Because it's that shadowy part of the history.
Well, then your only option to try to convince them that it's whatever technically part of your kingdom is by publicly declaring it to be so.
So, what do you all think that it would be enjoyable for us as a group to go as the pantheon to up to the Emerald Carving?
I'm going for trip, gang. Let's go for it.
I mean,
and I also point, you don't know if there's like a pride issue or not. That's just something that cultures have. Like, you're aware that could be a thing. So
I was.
Well, they're basically robots, so whatever.
Not exactly, but yeah.
Racist.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
So,
but yeah,
old man and Alice, what do you think? Rolfur?
I mean,
I'm good with it. I'm my stuff.
I have nothing against it. I do just want to make sure it has also been observed that the Kingdom of the Scale is not necessarily a place solely to visit to combat. The dragons there are true. Alliances can be made with them as well.
Yes.
My friends.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of would be a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather see if I can align myself with our backwards kin before.
So
go in with that one.
Yeah.
Hello, my backwards kin.
So just to be clear, you want our help with your war.
Yes.
What have you done the whole time?
I want to have kind of a note to that I want the pantheon to work. I want us to be a team. I want the gods to be a team. I want us
and
to
you want
have
us.
There is a
fix
dramatic
your-
pause at this point where Rolfur gets to insert his comments.
I mean, I wouldn't. I'm fine with that.
What a dick. We don't even know. You're backstabbing us. We don't even know it.
Good point.
So-
This is all mental space. Nobody can see me nodding my head in agreement with Terry.
So
Because I just go, yeah, of course.
Well, no.
But yes,
You-
I agree with Terry.
you
I agree
did
with
you
Terry.
did the oopsie. You did an oopsie dum dum move, and you would like us to help you fix it.
I'll say that I don't mind discussing this with you, but I'm not going to be particularly interested in like getting directly involved in your politics.
That's fair.
Yes, don't mention that we were involved in the politics part.
I mean, I would appreciate any help that I can get from any of you as far as the politics are concerned.
My personal experience is mostly in trade agreements.
Well,
Okay. Well, here's what I'm gonna do, since you asked for help after you made your oopsie dum dum move. I'm gonna have my agents at the canal delay the Navy and probably convince the people up north to get super into over preparing. So I could probably buy you an extra week. There'll probably be actual blades drawn in about a month. I'll get Ember Kingdom to just move their troops into a threatening position for Beezlend and then stand down and just start training. And then, yeah, sure, I'll go with you to wherever the fuck this place is. Oh, and I've been going behind your back and convincing your people to prepare for this fight the entire time you've been saying it wasn't happening, including loaning the money to equip. So your forces should be better situated than you think they are.
I thought those were just the families doing that work.
Oh no.
Thanks.
I've been breaking into your kingdom since Sora kind of told me I wasn't allowed back in.
Oh, no, I knew that you were absolutely doing that part. But
well,
not that
okay.
Not that it's condoned. But yeah. Speaking of those loans, how much do we owe you?
Oh, you don't owe me anything. The families owe me. I mean, some of them handled it better than others. I think I own a mansion out there, though.
We'll
I don't
break
know.
even
They'll
on
probably
those things soon.
they'll probably buy it back at some point, but right now I'm pretty sure I have a mansion. I have people for that. What you do is you find people who are good at that job, and then you employ them, and then you get the fuck out of their way. And occasionally you have others who come in and double check on them as a third party thing.
So I need a third party to check on families.
Well, it's your third party, but it's not directly connected to them. So, that's where a robust spy network comes into effect. For example, every now and again, I have people go in and check on the bank that I started in your country. Oh, I started a bank in your country, and take out a loan and see if they handle themselves appropriately. I'm not telling you which bank it is, though.
Close all banks.
Because currently I'm using the interest payments from that to also help fund our school here in Nexon. I think they opened another branch, though. I don't know. I should really check in with my manager over there.
No, there's these old rumors of some kind of some kind of old Fae spy folks that I think that they were called the Daily. Maybe I should look into them.
Wait, you were going to send troops over to the border of Beezlend?
What? Oh, I'm not saying... I run a tavern.
No. But what you were saying before... I'm just trying to write it down. I'm not trying to...
Yes, yeah. It's the same thing that he already talked about with his son earlier.
I'm just taking full credit for it.
He is taking full credit for all the stuff that he already did and how it's working. Yeah. Because he knows from the after planning station what was agreed upon, and now he's just saying that's what he's going to go plan.
Okay.
Because he managed to get the conversation going an hour after he got the plans rolling.
Could you let me know as soon as those boats get to the crossing?
They'll be there in about... Do I know, Adam?
It will vary and depend. No, you do not know an exact time.
Do I have an agent there who, at some point, I can tell them that when they show up to pray to me to let me know?
Yeah, you can try and be letting... Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll let one of my, wine vendors, let me know when they show up. Because I am a humble merchant of food stuffs. I just run a cute little bar and inn.
All right.
For the weary traveler.
All right. So Rolfur and Rolfur and Billy and Alice, you all have no interest whatsoever in getting involved in all of these politics going on.
I don't really think that I'm well suited
I'm
for
not
it.
interested in doing a war.
I am a small child.
I'm just not interested
You're
in fighting
perfectly
a war.
normal height for your age.
I don't know, Rolfur.
I don't know. She can become one giant badass dragon, though. I don't think. I mean, she hasn't even hit puberty yet, and that dragon is big.
A large dragon.
But I don't know, Rolfur. It's like you might want to show up just to record some stuff before it gets.
Well, I didn't say I was going to avoid it. I'm just not going to fight in the war.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's like
All right.
just to do your
But
job.
unrelated to fighting the war, I definitely want to see this new place.
Yeah, the Emerald Crescent or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I want to set up a branch there or something.
Emerald carving. All right. Well,
Yeah, it's like
This-
I don't mind visiting the carving.
is everybody good today, or do we want to hold off for a day, or?
Where should
I'm
we
good
meet?
with.
Let's go.
I mean, unless Alice got something that she wants to do with the Burning Passion, I'm good for it.
I mean, if you want to meet in Dalport, we've got. I mean, we all have several of us have easy ways of getting to Dalport without expending resources.
Yeah, rub it in.
Wait, doesn't Dalport have a gate to Ember? Somewhere in
In
Ember?
the Great City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Isn't
which
that
is
where
not
they're
where.
at? No,
No,
that's not where they're at.
that's the other side of the ocean. So
Yeah, he's in-
I'll be
he's in
there in about a
Maxon.
month.
Yeah. No.
The girl's there with you. She can give you a ride.
Yeah, I know. That's why Alice has to be down. Otherwise, I can't go.
Rolfur, do you have
My
your own
taxi
way?
driver.
Oh, yikes.
Travel? Yeah.
Yeah, you have trees too, right? Is that?
I have if it's a place I've been before, I have trees. Otherwise, I'd have
But
to
as far as
do
just
either
okay, so you can both all easily get to
Dalport.
Dalport then. So yeah, meet at Dalport.
Yes.
Yeah, as long as Alice is up for it.
She is. All right. At this point, we've cut forward in time, and you are all at Dalport.
Okay.
Yay!
Look at the pantheon all together again.
Just for camaraderie's sake, I do reach out to the other members of the Pantheon that are NPCs.
Okay.
And I do offer to ask if they want to join us as well. I assume that because they're all NPCs, they say no, for various good reasons.
I will allow you to choose either a persuasion check or a luck check, whichever you would like, to try and
You
convince
know that
somebody to
those-
join.
Oh, I'm not trying to convince them. I'm just offering.
Well, then
You
I'm
know
going to
that
make it a
one of
luck
those-
check then.
One of those people is the goddess of death.
I get a 17.
Did Nim actually join? Nim didn't join up with us, I thought. Did Nim sign?
Well, yeah, no, Nim is definitely signed.
Oh, okay.
Nim was absolutely happy to sign.
Okay.
Because remember,
Yeah, Nim
the
and I
signing
had the
didn't say
exact
he
same-
couldn't do it. The signing said wouldn't be sneaky about doing it. And Nim was very forward with the, no, if I'm going to try and be betraying you, everyone should know. So yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
They
Well,
were...
I got a 9. Oh no, I get advantage on luck checks. I got a 16 on my luck check.
Okay.
So this was entirely just me making sure that the other divines know that I do consider them part of the Pantheon, and I'm trying to keep them involved in Pantheon business. This is not me, player, trying to get more people.
Okay. Sora obviously aware, and she has stuff she's doing.
Yeah, no,
Garridan doesn't want to necessarily get involved up there, but they would be happy for any reports of what's going on that side, as they have not gotten there, and would be fine for information. You find...
Is Dolp?
Ooh, let me check here. Ilga often offers to come if needed, as is not incredibly far. Currently in Port Forte, checking through a library there. which is in the kingdom of Suono, to the north of Emerald Carding.
Interesting. Oh, I want to get her information about that.
She did, she, on her trip up, she did stop by there. She didn't spend much time. She does note, you know, while a place where basically offering, if you want me to head down, I can. I might be a little more welcome and received with the general populace there than you may. So if you need, like, help with, like, having some help with, like, diplomatic, we'll offer that. Nim does not respond at all.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that's all that you can
I do have a question about Dullport itself.
Okay.
Is that where the Bard College is?
Yeah, just outside of town a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Alice drop me there real quick.
No, Alice can get you into the city, and then it's fine to walk down there.
Okay.
But she does not have, like, a tree at the college to...
Okay, I'll dimension door over there real quick. I have something to take care of.
Okay.
And then I will join them. Which
yeah, let's do that first, yeah, because I cut through the time to get there. So.
Okay, so I'm going to pay the college to start spreading the truth about Garadane, about how he's, like, you know, a monster who murders women and children for no good reason, and how the only order he provides is the orderly rows of the dead, and it just in general shit on him.
I want you to take a disadvantage persuasion check.
Okay, well, I got a 12 and a 15, so I'm going to take the 12, which turns into a 15, so that's a 35.
And how much are you paying?
10,000.
I can alter some of this stuff, you know.
Yeah, so, yeah. And,
well, the big thing that is, you know, normally donations to the college are done through our alumni, is how we handle all of that. That's a bit of a, you know, we have no direct, you know, influence on you and how...
I turn into an exact duplicate of him directly in front of him and say, now, you can be a good boy and take my money and do as I say, or I will break everything related to you. And I'll go ahead and do an intimidation check on that.
Okay.
Is that okay? I rolled a 15, but I also, you know, automatically get a 15. So, I only get a 30.
Only a 30?
Only a 30.
He still seems very frightened of you.
Really?
Yes!
And then I
He's immortal.
Then I turned back into the random individual. I didn't go as the old man. I went as, like, basically someone who would have a grievance.
Okay.
And
they put forth that they will work on it until Garadane visits them to tell them to stop. But that they're basically at that point they're not doing, you know, at that point they will have completed the agreement, and once he's come there to stop them, they're not going to push back against a god.
I feel like if you do it correctly, it will take on a life of its own.
We'll see how quickly he responds.
Well,
but
it would be just a real shame. Real shame. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll go ahead and take the 10,000 off my gold. There we go.
Picking fights in neutral territories. Gotta love it.
Oh, no, I have a reason. So yeah, I'm doing an anti...
Yeah, I put a minus next to his growth where I usually put the plus. I'm like, I guess we'll put a...
Yeah,
I've never had a minus before, but sure.
I also bring up the point that if they're sneaky about it, it should take him a while. Just, a couple songs, a couple rumors, these sorts of things.
Yikes.
Which, honestly, it's mostly true.
So now we jump back to conversation of, as, you're all together and contacting the other vines.
Yeah, as I come skipping in, just so pleased with myself.
I let the group know about how our librarian goddess is willing to come down and assist us once we're up there. But that it's... I mean, I want to know if you guys think that that's necessary. I don't think it is, but...
I would argue that anyone who is as knowledgeable as her would have something to offer no matter what we wind up doing. Don't turn down the help of experts in the field, would be my advice. And as a leadership generalization.
So, no toes being stepped on from the old man. Anybody else? Everybody good with that?
Nah, that's cool. It'd be nice to see Hilda.
Alright, well, I'll use I'll reach out to her again and let her know. Well, I'll reach out to her once we know where we're gonna be there, and so that we can meet up with her.
Did Terry deliberately misunderstand, or did you not understand? That it's not about stepping on toes; it's that there's someone who is literally an expert in things offering to come with you.
Yeah, no. Terry verbalized that. Okay, it's good to know that we're not stepping on your toes. Is anybody else okay with this? And that's how Terry took it.
That you're not upset if he does it. As almost
Yes.
if Terry's saying, yes, that's what I would like to do too. I'm glad you're not against it. I'm just checking for who's against it.
Okay, that's a little confusing, but okay.
Yes.
As you were, continue.
But yeah, so
I'm just over here polishing. Don't mind me.
Scraping?
Yep.
Just
polishing one off.
You might want to increase your noise canceling.
You could just move away from it.
Where's the mic?
On my face.
As you back up, like that's gonna be further away.
It is further away.
Yeah.
I was bending over it.
Okay.
But yeah, alright, so once we get there, I'll message her so that she can meet up with us. Since we're not exactly sure where we're gonna end up in the emerald carving.
I feel like a better idea would just be to not do this right now, which is kind of unfortunate.
Why is that?
Because it's making noise.
Because it's making too much noise.
Oh, the knife.
Yeah.
Oh, not you. Yeah, no. Obviously, we're talking about the much more important thing, whatever side business I'm doing where I'm being fidgety.
I started the recording too soon. Usually he's done with all his knife work before we get recording.
I was done, but then I decided that the edge needed a little bit reshaping.
Always
And
keep an edge on
did
your
that.
knife, son. Always keep an edge on your knife.
Yeah.
Well, I had one. I just think it needs to be sharper.
So where and how do you want to try and move into the emerald carving?
Anybody got any thoughts on that?
We could walk.
It's like
Teleportation is usually good.
we can go from Kashkat, I guess.
Kashkat is not terribly close. Terry has been to places further north. So either we could do like a very, very general teleportation of I don't know if we can do a general teleportation to somewhere in Emerald Carving or not. But
I don't know. Would there have been a point in time where I would have ever been at the Emerald Carving in my travels?
Remember, you can't teleport to places you haven't personally been before.
No, you have not personally been there.
Okay.
well, yeah, that's what we'd be trying. We would be trying a teleportation to someplace I haven't been. So,
Just go for it.
You don't have a great track record.
I'm being open about the situation.
I mean, we're pretty resilient when we bump into things on the way, though.
Yeah, at
And
this
if
point,
we
yeah,
die,
we're
we get better, but it would waste time.
And to be fair, if you would like, you guys could just go into my portable hole, and then I could let you out once we're there.
Sure, let's do that.
I mean, we do that when the old man takes us places, too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is there somewhere particular we're trying to get there?
And so I've never been to
Well-
Shadowport.
No, you have not.
Okay.
So that's the thing. My goal here is that
What is
I wanna
your intelligence score, Billy?
Oh, my intelligence score?
Mhm.
12.
Yeah, you're not really sure so much on details, but just from working with, sailors and such as you went on trips, that was just sort of an area that you were advised avoid. Populace is not the kind of that, has normal, that eats or enjoys what most people call food anyways. It's like if you were going there, you'd only be going to make things for there, and it's not going to help your business anywhere else. And it would be a dangerous place to be. So, the other port of Emerald Carving, other than Shadowport, is Threat. So,
yeah, my biggest the goal here, as far as Terry is concerned, is to find out what has the Emerald Carving become, and can it become an ally, or even subsumed back into the Jade Empire, the Jade Country. So
combining the group's information, you know that Shadowport is their capital. So, as far as what to do in the area, etc. Shadowport is where whatever leadership is. But the other towns is the port town of Threat. Redpaw is up the Rust River from Shadowport. And Iron Mine and Conductor are two towns, or I guess cities, that are among either end of the Death Scar, which is the actual line that divides your nation from theirs.
Okay. Here's a thought. So Stan and the old man can both teleport to their followers, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Well, I thought you
I
guys
can't
could.
teleport to them. I can hear them, I can talk back, but I don't really do the movie thingy.
Yep.
I
Can
don't
hear
know
and
why-
talk back. Don't move.
I don't know why I thought you guys could. Can anybody do that?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Does anybody that has the ability to talk with followers? I mean, can we just? Can I tell if I have any followers in Emerald Carving?
I believe pinpointing followers is its own power. Because I had
Yeah,
to
I'm
take it.
I'm wondering if it is pinpointing or not.
I believe knowing location of followers is
What are you trying to do?
Because you can
here?
normally
Are you trying to
hear
pick followers, or-
I'm just thinking that it would be better to have an anchor that I could target to teleport.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it's its own power, but I can't.
I'll see you on the other end.
Okay.
Love that. I'll heal you on the other
I
end.
can
anything
speak with
that
my
happens.
followers.
Well, if that's your concern, then you might want to go ahead and look around maybe your palace or something, depending on what it is. You might be able to find a item that is of old enough origin that it would have been from that place.
That's a very good suggestion.
Okay. So yeah, we all just walk up to my palace.
Which, because it's just literally a gateway that connects the two,
Yep.
do that, is easy enough to get there.
Yep. Say hi to the honey.
Mhm.
Just looking for artifacts. Don't mind us.
Yeah, I'd say it's gonna have to be old, but yeah, we might be able to find something that came from that particular region when you were still one country.
Okay. Does anyone other than Terry have history trained?
Wait.
I mean,
Also
Rolfur, obviously.
trained.
I mean, yeah.
Yes, I do. I have history trained.
Because Terry, being from the Jade Country, literally has no chance of knowing anything about this. Because he has been taught wrong information on purpose. Anyone else that is not from the Jade Country who has history trained may make a disadvantaged history check.
My history is
21?
expertise.
Okay.
Do I get to make it without disadvantage?
No, you're still disadvantaged, but you can obviously add your proficiency bonus twice.
Well, I rolled a 9 and a 6,
Twice in a row.
so I got a 22.
Me too. And you said 21?
Mm-hmm.
I got a 19.
15.
Okay.
Because I rolled a 2.
Terry, do you just kind of give them free reign as far as looking for things through the palace?
I would like to. I mean, I'd like to watch
So
them.
you try and keep them all working together. Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to stop them if they try to walk away.
They managed.
Is there rich stuff?
No, that's 26. I'm sorry, I do get my proficiency bonus.
More of where things end up coming in is in some of what are more historical rooms. Rooms of just sort of things that are kept for the historical reverence. And as several of you, those of 19 or higher, are aware that originally some of like the different areas were more heavily controlled by different families, and of course the Misu family was the main one that trained a lot of covered a lot of the more northern territory when there was the divide there, or before the divide, and some of like maybe some things. There are a group of sort of like ceremonial knives that are from the actual Jade Empire days that were most likely manufactured as Misu family knives that would most likely have been manufactured up in that area or have enough of a history there that you have at least a decent chance that they're going to be taking you to the right spot.
So those are like the best items that we have.
That is the best that you have.
Well, I think other people rolled higher than me, so I'm not going to be the one who presents it. But so I didn't run into.
Oh yeah, you didn't actually
any
probably know
jewels.
the knives or that. You knew that the Misu family was tied up north. Sorry, I forgot to then.
Well, I got a 19.
Yes, you knew the Misu family was tied up to the northern area. They're probably the ones that located that. Oh, these are the knives that fit the.
Yeah. I just if I happen to see anything of monetary value. I mean, I'm just actively looking for money making items at this point because I just did a large outlay of cash for no good reason.
Okay. Make a check that you have proficiency in, but not charisma.
I rolled a natural 20. Is it disadvantage?
No.
Okay. Which check would you like?
I don't know.
I've got investigation. That's not charisma.
Sure.
Insight. That's
Let's do
wisdom.
investigation. That works.
Okay. 34 then. And if I could somehow rob it from the pig dudes, I'd be very happy.
This is directly from the temple where Terry and Sora live. So it is from their home.
Well,
but it is from what is like more historical artifacts of the home. And you, with your check, well, you know a little bit about things. You don't necessarily need know. Oh, this item or these these metals used symbolize it's from such and such family. So you're not sure what family it originally hails from. But you do find a fairly gaudy diamond necklace that is sort of on display in the room at the point where they're all looking over at say the knives on like the other side of the room.
Just throw
Everyone can make a perception check versus the old man's
Stealth?
Nope.
I think the only one who's capable of seeing me is Rolfur.
Rolfur.
Roll a 1.
27.
No, not even close. Let's see here. So that's 30. I'm at 30. Like 30 is the lowest I can roll.
Okay. And Mr. No one beat that?
Unless he's within 30 feet, in which case blindside.
I think Austin's muted. I didn't hear him, but his lips were moving.
He said unless he's in 30 feet, in which case blind sight. So I do have the ability to hide in plain sight. I don't know if that counts.
And blind sight lets him know like where you're at. It doesn't let him know that you've stolen a thing off of there. No. So if noticed, like as people are walking out, then he's like, well, the old man was right next to that. Anyways, so I'm not gonna bother to value the like cost of the white gold that the main necklace is, but as it is like a necklace that is like that whole like front triangle kind of thing that would go around the chest. I will note that it does have 29 5,000 gold diamonds set within it.
Oh, good. That fixes my money problems for a while.
Just rob it.
On top of whatever historical significance it also had.
I could just give you money.
He can't
what are you talking about? I don't have any money problem. Diamonds.
He might owe you something. So now
Plus
he just
white gold. Plus historical nonsense.
I have full charges today. I'm full. I could just give you money. Please don't take this.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
So you got those knives. Someone would need to make a luck check.
To be perfectly fair, I could sell the solid ruby crown and mask set that I have also.
Yeah.
I really hope that you just take that and put it in your own museum or something. Because
To be
that's
fair,
where it belongs.
I could be
It
more
belongs
evil.
in a museum.
Alternatively, you could just pop out all those diamonds, and those are great spell components. The wizards will pay for or the
I could
clerics will pay
bring
for
back
diamonds.
so many people to life.
Yeah.
Normally,
Meanwhile,
it's a bag
the
of
wife
diamonds.
is just sitting there as the door opens and a huge gaudy diamond necklace flies in and closes.
She is wearing it the next time you see her.
Of course, but of course.
I'm never getting that back.
Sitting around a museum? No, diamonds, we're putting you to work.
So yeah, someone needs to make a luck check to
diamond.
see if that counts as an associated object or not.
A luck check?
Yep, somebody.
Not it.
Ordinary.
Yeah.
14.
14. Okay. And you work to teleport.
Yep.
Roll your percentage.
44.
44. So not sure if it worked as you now are also carrying Misu family knife. You end up in an area of land that used to be forested. And you're just sort of on a slight slope of land, and it is just... It looks like the area has been, gone through, a forest fire, but where it didn't, burn, the main trunks... all the trunks of the trees still barren and charred, standing, no vegetation growing on them for miles. Just dead.
Yeah,
Nothing
so we're on
growing.
the scar.
But and it looks like the ground is still blackened and burned, soot upon the stone rocks.
Yeah, so we're in the Death Scar right now.
So you let us out of your transport hole?
Oh yeah, so I go ahead, get out the portable hole, I go and put it down and open it up and be like, come on out, we're in the Death Scar. I do detect magic real quick.
It's like the ground itself isn't magic, but there are what looks to be almost like traveling through the air, just forces of magic that sort of generate, blow a distance, and then seem to disappear.
So yeah, we're close.
I mean, technically, you're in the nation. Jade Country does not consider any part of the Death Scar theirs. They stop and they defend, at its edge. So
I turn to Alice and say, "You wouldn't happen to be able to find the path, would you?"
is that?
It's a druid spell that allows them to find the easiest path towards a specific location. It's high level.
It's super overpowered. It's so good.
It actually is only good in very, very specific circumstances. Otherwise, it sucks.
Okay, well, the Pathfinder version is very, very good.
Yeah, theirs isn't great. Point in fact, it might not even be useful. Now that I think I'm remembering some information about it.
It has to be familiar with anyways, so.
Oh yeah, see, it's useless.
I mean, it would be useful if trying to get back to where you know from having been randomly plopped here in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get out my flying carpet.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and use it to fly up high and see if I can see anything for miles.
Okay.
Rolfur, do you want to come up with me?
Sure. It's like, I'm sure you had this, but I might as well just double check.
So Terry, yeah, I mean, you can see like sort of either side of where the scar ends. You know, it's like roughly 20 miles across, and then just trees beyond there, but really nothing much beyond that.
So no like smoke plumes or clearings or anything we can like head towards on the northern side?
No. Rolfur, you see a spot where, like if you look like in the direction where it looks like it's like wider than 20 miles, where you see a bit of what looks like sort of a civilization set within.
Wait, like a city, you mean, or like a whole like a miniature?
Like a city.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I point out the city. I go, there's people living there.
All right, well let's go that way.
Cool. You got those tree tokens that I keep forgetting to ask you for, like the last 3 times we've met.
Yes. While we're up here, I go ahead and hand over 6 tree tokens that create the tree that you asked for. So I can finally take those off my character sheet as well.
The ginkgo trees?
Yep, the ginkgo tree tokens. Although, now I need to figure out, why do I have bird tokens?
Sit here and go,
What do those do?
I think that was for
they
Alice.
make birds.
Wait, how many tree tokens do you give him?
6.
Hooray.
This is all I ever wanted.
The ability to make trees.
Why did I make these?
After a high on his supply.
They
I can teleport. Why did I make these?
What would you make?
I made 3 bird tokens. They can... how long do they last?
fly. $104 a day. Well, according to the description, if you never flew it to its limit, you'd still be good.
Yeah, you could just use it over and over again as long as I don't fly it a full 144
To
miles.
exhaust. Yeah, if you don't fly to exhaustion, you can just keep using it.
So you could easily carry 1,000 pounds around. I don't know.
I made 3 of these tokens, and I don't know why I did, but I did.
You wanted a pet bird, man.
I apparently wanted pet rocks.
They're gargantuan too. They're huge.
Yeah, no, I wanted them for transport. Apparently,
They're big.
I think that the David of the past had the same idea of the David of current, except had a better way of going about it. Because when we were talking earlier about the warfare stuff, I was looking up, trying to think of how I could get troops transported from place to place, and I was looking up airships. But I think that the David of the past didn't work on this, and I don't remember it. But all right, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what past David decided to do.
So going into the town that's within the Death Scar?
Yeah, it is in the Death Scar, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just turn on Stone Skin, just for no reason.
So it's that out there to the right?
Good if people want it.
Whatever. So how do you get into town? Do you just fly down and then walk as the group?
Fly down to the group. Well, we go ahead and I go ahead and put the portable hole on the bottom of the carpet.
Okay.
And
Stuff starts falling out.
Yeah.
no, everything in the portable hole is held.
By the creepy freaking
Oh yeah,
hands.
the hands! The hands!
The golden hands with jade veins.
The nightmare fuel. Oh, they're not wearing jewelry now. Nice.
And remember, when you're in the portable hole, wherever you stand, the hands open up to support your feet. It's elegant.
It makes everybody
It's
else
creepy.
uncomfortable.
Nightmare fuel.
I think it's beautiful. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's the interesting thing
People understand
is that what we learn about you as a person. Yeah, that's...
so
High fashion brand stuff.
gosh, at least I didn't have them make faces like in Labyrinth.
I mean, how fast is your carpet?
It's the biggest one,
80
so it's only
feet.
30 feet.
No. Jeez, I was like, you got the slow one? Yeah, you got the slow one.
Yeah, I got the slow one because I wanted to be able to carry things.
So
Is
did
the
I get
wasteland
a
toxic?
What?
Is
No,
the
it's not.
Death Scar toxic?
I mean, sort of,
Oh.
but not really.
So did I get
Yeah,
a general
like-
we're going in that direction kind of thing?
Yeah, we're all going.
Yeah, we're going that way.
Like-
Alright.
I kind of go, okay, well, I'm gonna meet you there.
Do you want to bring us there? Would you bring
No,
us there?
He wants to go do crime without being noticed.
First of all, no, that's not what I want to do. What I would like to do is integrate into the society without being hampered by your presence.
So the answer's still no. Then okay, gotcha.
Could you get us closer?
I said what I said.
Yeah. Would you bring us closer?
Sure, I put down my portable hole.
Can you just grab the cart? We'll just climb into my portable hole and you could just.
Alice hops into old man's portable hole.
All right, we
Come
go
on,
get you.
yep.
Roll up my portable hole and my carpet and go into his.
For some reason, you've decorated your portable hole in a way that they'd rather get into his.
And then dimension door travel.
At least things aren't gonna fall out of my portable hole.
I don't think there's currently anything
Yeah,
in
I think
it.
he's cleared all his into his domain, so...
Yeah, I think there's 500 feet of rope. Well, let me check. I have my notes. There is 500 feet of rope, and I think some books or something.
Hmm.
There's a small boulder in there.
I'm gonna fabricate the boulder.
Yeah, there's a small boulder. There's a Zen garden rake.
That.
There's. Yeah.
Okay, I take the Zen garden rake. I'm just holding that now. It's mine.
There's snacks.
You know what?
I don't
You know what? Old man,
I
it's
don't know where
fair.
he got
You
it.
rolled. You robbed Terry. Now Terry is robbing your Zen garden.
No,
rake.
but that's the thing. I don't know where he got it, but I know where it's. I know what country he got it from.
The boulder is like a really nice boulder.
He's
It's
still-
the one I
It's a nice boulder.
That's a
Adam?
nice boulder.
I have a question for you. So I stated quite clearly that I was going to fabricate the boulder.
Mhm.
Do I recognize that it is a Zen garden boulder before I start fabricating it?
You don't necessarily
It
recognize
is
that
labeled.
it is one, but you recognize like it's the style that would be used for that.
Totally could be. That's a good boulder.
Yeah.
Can I roll, I don't know, like an insight or something?
I thought it goes through your head. This would be looking.
No, because,
great.
like,
You can't
It's
incite
like-
a boulder.
No, to know that it was taken from a
It's
Zen
flying.
garden.
It's actually a tree.
I got the rake because if it's a Zen garden boulder, I shouldn't be fabricating it into something else. The
I
economy
will
would
let you
just-
just
the economy
roll
might be upset
a
with
straight up wisdom check.
Insight wisdom. 11, 12. I got a 12.
I mean, you don't necessarily know that it is, but it does have a Zen garden rake leaning against it.
I forgot that I stole the boulder.
I don't.
Just look at Terry. Is that your boulder?
I think it probably it might have come from a Zen garden. So yes. I'm not sure.
I touch the boulder and I use my magic item.
What's the...
I have a magic mirror which lets me learn stuff about an object that I touch. It's usable once a day.
I've got one of those.
I use it on the boulder.
It's a bundo boulder. I
What
stole
does
it
it,
from the
what does it tell you?
Bundo
Like, you say
family.
you learned something about the item. What does it tell you?
I learned something about the history of a specific object by taking an adjunct to gauge into the mirror and think of the target. It presents scenes from the target's past. Information conveyed is accurate, but is often random and cryptic. Presented in no particular order. It lasts for 1 minute.
What was this? Sorry. It's
It's an item
you
called
see
Mirror of
random
the Past.
scenes of you do see it sort of within a border with people of Terry's heritage, you know, some kind of appearance, like doing almost like ritual around it. You see scenes of it sitting inside, like in front of a shopkeep's house. You see scenes of blood splattered across it in vengeance.
This is apparently a pretty famous boulder. This boulder's been around.
It was
gonna go
stolen by
ahead
a
and-
great ape because I was too weak to lift it.
I'm gonna animate it. And
This
it's just gonna
boulder's
follow
around.
me. You know what? While I'm at it, I'm gonna animate the rake too. They're both just gonna follow me.
I'm just going to make these two things alive.
So when you, about probably a mile outside of town, set them down to go in separately,
Yeah,
the boulder and rake are following Terry out.
I would be careful. The last guy who had that boulder got executed.
He'll look over it.
Not by me. Specifically by the Bundo dude.
Go ahead and open my portable hole and have them walk themselves in.
The boulder is a little
I
hesitant
open a
by the
portal.
hands, but does obey your
I
commands.
try to persuade.
Oh
I try
my
to persuade
goodness.
the boulder to come back to its home.
The rake is fine to walk into hands. The rake feels like going into hands is fine.
I try
They
to.
go into the
Can I persuade the boulder?
No.
I'm not sure of
I
like
wish to persuade
how
the
animate
boulder.
works and how long. Like, do they have free will for a while? I don't know what you're doing.
No, they don't have free will.
Yeah.
You command them with bonus
They
actions.
take orders.
Yeah.
You
Then you persuade all you might, and they do what Terry says anyways.
you have to persuade Terry to make him use the animate object spell to have them go back.
I go ahead and close my portal hole and be like, okay, let's all go into town.
All right, I'll meet you guys there.
Okay. So, old man, you get there first. Just pull things up here.
I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace on myself before we get too far into this, and I'm going to Dimension Door towards the outskirts of town, and then find what they look like, so that I can turn into them.
Make a perception check for me.
Oh, 18.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have perception trained. Measly +2. Not that kind of rogue.
So first off, just the general look of the city itself. A fair bit of it is like higher. You wanted to say something, Terry?
Yep. Before the old man and us part ways, I say, thank you for the quick teleport, and I hand him a medal. We've gone over this
We all get them.
twice before.
What is it?
It's a medal. It is a medal for doing a good deed. Keep it on yourself. And it'll help you out.
It's Medal of the Horizon back, a magic item. Yep. As a reaction, you get a +5 bonus to AC one time.
Free shield.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a free shield. And technically, it's different. So if you have shield, it can stack with shield.
And I made a
it's a
bunch
reaction,
of them.
right?
Yep.
No, so you
It's
can't.
reaction.
So you can't double it with shield then. But oh well.
Yep. But I made a bunch of them so that I can hand them out when I think that people are doing things that are good.
I feel patronized as I tuck it into my pocket and disappear.
Okay. So the city, the center part of the city is like higher ground and is like heavily like walled, fortified, but much of the city like spills out around it. Just as far as like the general layout, the people in the city are mostly robotic, mechanical. Like some
Neato.
more so than even the Men of Iron. Men of Iron were warforged. They were the wood, stone, metal creation of men. Some of these have arms and limbs that are not what one would standard consider like a functional armor limb. Some are not bipedal. There is, some do not have chest components or stuff to even contain like a concept of what you consider like normal internal organs, which even if the ones for the Men of Iron are manufactured, they are manufactured to be like people. These are not. And that is more than half of the population, just at a quick glance. Although there are also plenty of people there that are orcs, gnolls, goblins, kobolds.
Are they regular gnolls?
Some of them, yeah.
Regular gnoll.
I don't get it.
Are any of them my worshippers? Or is this place pretty isolated and doesn't know about the gods yet?
This place is fairly isolated and does not know about the gods yet.
So brochure time? Brochure? What's brochure?
Well, first, Old Man gets first entry. Old Man sped along Dimension Door-wise. So what does the Old Man do?
I'm gonna mentally send back a general report on a lot of metal dudes, and everything seems to be a monstrous race. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
definitely
you should
also
all
like what look like, as far as like the closest to like normal people, elves, humans. There are some, but chunks of flesh have rotten off, as they seem to be some form of undead amongst them.
This place
Yeah,
I'm gonna burn this to the ground. Holy crap.
I warn of that too. Like, so,
Are we
yeah.
changing our plans?
I don't see why not. As I... Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, drop my disguise and walk in as a changeling.
Okay. So you do that. As the rest of the group walking cautiously towards there is sort of making it like, are we changing our plans? Alice says, "Did you describe it, or did you just send images of what you're seeing?"
Images.
Her thought to changing plans is, they have houses.
And they're not covered in... And are they like, no one's brandishing weapons, there's no blood?
I mean, there doesn't seem like there's just like blood shed around. Almost everyone does have like weapons like sheathed or on back, like they are armed. It is an armed civilization. But if it's part of the scar...
But like, no one is... Like, there's no active...
Fighting? No.
Is there any commerce on the street?
Yeah.
Alright.
There's people.
They are acting like people, so I guess we can see how far the act goes.
Yeah, go and learn and first.
Old man, as you enter, you get some looks, but more of an idea of someone that's new in sort of a city that's kind of a community that knows each other.
Are there any open air elementals?
You'll have to kick the doors and just foot check.
What are you trying to do, David?
Don't worry, we're not there yet. I'll ask later.
But you do not necessarily feel like from people's not action, you feel, if anything, probably less judged for your species, for what you are, than you do it even in your own home, where you've enacted laws allowing it, but where in general people don't feel free to go about as it. Where you're in your country, where there's definite people where, especially like working in some of the theaters, like those kind of jobs where their coworkers all know what they are, but they don't want to see them in their normal form. They're fine that they take on whatever look they take for a role, but blend in with us.
Yeah, because it's unnerving to them.
That does not seem to be even the opinion here.
That is so loud.
My cat just jumped up next to the microphone and,
Yep.
Yeah, poor old Janksy.
Your lady there is now... Oh, Jinx, stop it. Your lady there is now immortalized on video, Vic.
Whatever. She's not my lady, she's Steve's.
Just want to set the record straight there.
She was letting me know that my internet, because the cable to the house is down, and I'm like, yes, I'm aware. I'm
You've
using
known
my
that for
hotspot
hours
to do this.
Such a
I've known
hot
that
spot.
since this morning. Yeah,
So,
it's janky, but it works.
so I'm just gonna walk through town and kind of take the temperature of the people in general and see if I can find anyone in charge.
Immediately,
Like,
people
figure
kind
out-
of keep a little space from you as new, like as you walk in from the side you entered. But as you get towards the main road on like sort of a bit further into town that seems to head like up towards the fortified section of the town, that's where people even start calling you kind of over. A lot more market stalls. People selling all sorts of various things as you look around, ranging from unique kinds of foods to, and perhaps calling US, but mechanical parts or alternate body options.
Got those in spades.
It's like, nah, you want an upgrade? That's a flesh hand. You don't want a flesh hand. I'll get you this guy, the Lock-O-Matic. It opens any lock. It's got multiple tools integrated into the fingers.
This arm's
Don't
a
mind the
buzzsaw!
dust.
I could have used this a day ago.
Yeah, yellow color
So-
scheme, you know.
I only knew about this place 2 days ago.
So as I'm walking in and through, I'm sending images back, but none of the images have me in them.
Yeah, just
So
from
like
your
if there's reflection,
you're just
yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of wandering through. I go think back to them like they seem pretty nice to me. You all should definitely not be in here until I figure out what's going on.
Yeah. You do not see any humans, elves that are just normal. Billy would probably get along fairly well.
Yeah, I'm a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm just. Aren't you just a gnome?
No.
Me?
No, he's a turtle mutation.
Yeah, I'm a Simic hybrid turtle man. That we're.
I gotta be
Yes,
perfectly
probably,
honest.
you know.
This is the first I'm knowing about this.
Yes,
No
Billy
idea.
is a turtle. Billy has a turtle shell.
And I wear a nice suit and have a top hat. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a turtle man.
Except he
that-
doesn't have like a turtle face. He's got. Don't you have like an actual human face though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I still have my old human features, but I'm just
Yeah.
part turtle.
But it looks like enough human that the humans kind of give him a pass. But you feel like looks enough mutated that people here would be like, oh, you could. This is a place where people outcast from the more traditional societies have gone.
So as I'm traveling through, I do keep my eyes open for other of my kind.
Is Walter Schultz getting one of the
Make a luck check.
Ugh. Ring of Invisibility is a legendary item. Damn it.
That's a 9.
Oh yeah, I just made him invisible. Thanks for mentioning that.
Oh yeah, 9.
Okay. And check here. And do you have true sight?
No, I have resistance to true sight.
Okay. The none that you see.
Do.
So when he tells us we should not be seen on our walk-in, I make our walk-in group invisible.
You could just make us invisible?
Yeah, invisibility at will. It goes on to other people.
Wow.
And you can just concentrate on it.
Yep. Okay. So
Thank you.
like, okay, so I'm gonna keep heading up the hill to the fortification or whatever.
Okay. And it looks like more city within there, although it's definitely like once and the gates to it are open. You're able just to walk in plainly. There's probably about 24 like clear like guard force at that gate, but people, carts, etc., moving back and forth just fine. The width of probably like a 3-lane road kind of thing is probably like the gate itself. And as you walk through probably a 15-foot like section of stone, and you can see both like wooden structures that would close as doors, as well as you see like up above like where like a whole portcullis can be dropped. Like there's a whole setup. Like this area can be fortified, and I think it's called Solidor off on the side that seems like individuals could go in through if they have to cut it off and let more people in from the city. But yeah, so they let you through, and it's more like immediate commerce here, but just sort of from your glancing beyond, it seems less people probably live within here. Probably some nicer. A lot of the things in here are more some of like the manufacturing, particularly of metalworks and blacksmithing and all that, as well as large yards of just Like you start hearing at a certain point like a strange, almost kind of chanting sound, met with some sort of distant blows. That there are forces training, like there are active military training, weapon building, but still along the main streets and up, towards what is a small residential area that has probably about a dozen houses at the center of this area. The road kind of leads up to there and sort of splits around. Still plenty of commerce. People trying to make a sale.
Okay. I will continue moving up. I'm trying to get to the
Are they
keep, which is
trading
where
in
I...
gold?
It is itself fortified. Once inside, you don't find any proper keep. Like there is an individual knight that is in control of this city. In the center, where that might normally be in your expectations, there's I think it's a dozen nice houses with bits of yard, for lack of a better word.
I guess I will go up to one of the people selling things and start inquiring as to who's actually in charge.
Of what? My boss, he makes the weapons. We have fine weapons here, but
Of the general city.
Oh, is the city?
Is there a ruling council?
Yeah,
Or is it a collective?
yes. The families divulge information as needed, though rule, of course, comes from the Lord in Shadowport. From Lord Karen Misu? The great vampire king?
Karen Misu, the Vampire King. Makes perfect sense.
And with that,
This
we're
makes
going to pick
perfect
up
sense.
next time. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.